Good morning, everybody. You know who this is. This is AJ Copeland. This is Topics to Go. I hope everybody is having a good week. I hope that everything is working out in your lives and good things are happening. I know that this topic could be rather touchy or it may cause some controversies or a whole lot of number of things, but I thought that it was fitting for me to attempt to give you my opinion on this topic of gay men. I'm sure that there are a lot of unanswered questions and concerns that people have as it relates to homosexuality, as it relates to why are men attracted to the same sex. Now, women are attracted to the same sex as well, but there are not as much emphasis placed on women being attracted to the same sex as there is men being attracted to the same sex. So that's why I chose to do this video first. Why are men gay? Now, the first thing that I want to address in dealing with answering that question, which not saying I may not answer the question that fit your opinion or your thoughts or your feelings about it, but these are my opinions and my thoughts, and I don't want you to take it as concrete or take it as factual, completely factual, but it's my opinion based upon experiences of life and individuals and meeting people and past experiences and different things that has gone on in other people's lives, my friends, neighbors, family members, just a reading, research, just a combination of things that I've done over the years that have brought me to this conclusion. So let's talk about it for a minute. The first thing we have to do is identify gay, homosexuality. Okay, the first thing is gay, the word, the term, the definition of gay means funny, happy, joyful. So, gay men that got the word of start being called gay primarily because of their mannerisms, how men were acting, and it could be even looked at the femininity or gay men always came across as individuals that was always happy and joyful, and the way they talked or the way they walked or the certain clothes that they wore. It had more to do with their mannerisms than it did their sexuality, what they were attracted to sexually. So that's the term gay. Now you can look the word up and you'll find that word falls more into joy, happy, like a funny type of individual, a comedian, or whatever the case may be, that come across as gay. Now, homosexuality, if you look at that term, I didn't go into deep research about the history of homosexuality, but I'm just going to touch on some various bases because that would take a whole lot of videos and a whole lot of time that I don't have. Now, let's look at homosexuality. Homosexuality primarily stems from, it means, for a better word, it means same-sex attraction to, men that are sexually attracted to other men. It identifies men that are sexually attracted to other men. Now, that has nothing to do primarily with the mannerisms of how one may behave or how one may act or how one may do this, that, or the other. It has more to do with the sexual act itself, and that's a homosexual man. Now, you have some men that could be gay but not homosexual, and you have men that could be homosexual but not be gay. Okay, but I know the question is, why are men gay? That's the question. But I want to elaborate on the different the ideals and thoughts and meaning of what this is all about, so we can better understand. When we hear people say, "Oh, he's gay" or "he's homosexual" or whatever, we can have a better understanding of what individuals' thoughts or feelings may be of those terms and how they identify those terms and what the definition means to them to be called gay or homosexual. All right. Now, in the midst of all of that, gay and homosexual, you have the other terms of the LGBTQ community, which is individuals made a group of individuals that make up the community of homosexuality and gay, which stems beyond just men, but it goes into a whole other area of transgender men, transgender women, to the area of bisexuals, lesbians, so it gets into a whole different group. But that LGBTQ just represents, in which Q they don't use, I don't think, anymore, which means queer. They don't use that anymore, and that has to do again with mannerisms, queen, queer, the way what person behave or act to carry themselves. So that's where that word comes from. Now, what people fail to understand, I'm going to come from it from a biblical point of view, a scientific point of view, and I'm going to come from it from my point of view. All right? And I'm going to put all that together, and we're going to come to a conclusion of why men are gay. All right? And I hope that this video will be beneficial to somebody that always had that question in the back of their mind: why my dad is gay, why my uncle is gay, why my brother is gay, why my cousin is gay, why my friend is gay, why my pastor is gay, why my, so hopefully that will be able to answer some of your questions as it relates to why your significant one that you love is gay. All right, or homosexual, or bisexual, or transgender, or lesbian, or whatever. Okay, so that's what we're going to deal with. Now, let me go back to the biblical principles. Now, I'm going to shock you with a lot of things that I say here today, but as I said to you before, it's not concrete. It's my opinion. It's my thought. It's my feeling. All right, we all are bisexuals. Okay. Now, why do I say that we all are bisexuals? We all are bisexuals because we were all created by one sex. And you might say, wait. We were created by two sets, male and female. I got it. I hear you. But I want you to go back to the Adam and Eve story. If you got a Bible, you can pick it up. Now, I'm coming from a biblical point of view with my opinion. Get your Bible. Now, in the story of Adam and Eve, which most pastors pull from when they want to identify, how it's supposed to be as it relates to the way God meant for it to be with the male and female. In the beginning, the word of talks, well, not in the beginning, but later on, after the beginning, after the creation, after God did what he did with everything else, he formed beast, and he said it's not good for man to be alone, which a lot of pastors take that and say, what followed after that, he made woman. That is not true. When the scripture says it's not good for man to be alone, the next thing he did was made beast of the field. So let's not get that twisted. So he went on and he said, that it's not good for man to be alone. Let me make beast of the field, blah, 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 blah. So he goes on and he put Adam to sleep, and he take this woman from Adam's rib. Now, this is a common story. This story is all over. Everybody knows this story. Okay, if you don't know it, you will know it today. So that's how it started. He takes this woman from the rib of Adam. Now, I want you to check out what Adam says after he was first introduced to Eve. What did Adam say? Adam said that this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I will call you woman. Now, check it out. When Adam looked at Eve, Adam identified Eve as himself. When he looked at Eve, he said, you're bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. I will call you woman. In other words, Adam saw himself in Eve. Okay? And God gave him dominion and power, and he had the authority to name her. He had the authority to give her an identity, because she didn't have an identity before Adam gave her one. Adam gave her the identity of being a woman. Adam is the first representation of birth. If you want to know where did birth began with Adam. And birth continues to begin with a male. Because even though a woman may have eggs, In a womb, she can't produce any children without the man. Now, they come up with scientific ways to do that today, but the right way to do it, or the way that we all are used to, is what? Is that the woman is able to conceive when the egg has been fertilized by the male. All right? So it takes a man to fertilize the egg to produce the child. The woman can't produce the child without the man. And you might say, well, the man can't produce the child without the woman. Well, they can take a man's sperm, just and just and spread it abroad and produce a whole lot of babies. Okay. So, but a woman can't take but one man's sperm and produce a child. Now, what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to tell you is that when you look at a man that is gay, homosexual, has the characteristics of a female, well, I wouldn't even say the characteristic of female, because most gay men, a lot of people say, oh, you're trying to be like your mama. Most women don't act or behave like gay men. Let's not get it twisted. They don't. So I'm not even going to say that. But what I will say is, when you see a gay man or what have you, with characteristics, or the gayness of the man, the joy, the funny bone, or whatever you want to call it, it's a part of something that's already there. It is that female that exists in the male. See, you can walk around here and I'm masculine, I'm a man. Okay, that's cool, that's well and fine. But it does not erase the fact that you have a female in you, because you have your mother's genes. And because you have, and Adam and Eve was in Adam. She was already predestined. She was already there inside of Adam. Or when God created Adam, he had already made preparation to create Eve. Now, this is my interpretation. Now, I'm going to get ready to close this video, and I'm going to pick up another video, and I want y'all to check it out. The link will be at the bottom, and we'll talk about this father. All right? Until then, during your free time, always remember, catch a topic or two. Later.